you're welcome to sign up now. We'll also kind of talk a little bit about more when we get there. We also have copies of the agenda, so if you want to follow along with us, we have those at the front podium as well, so feel free to grab one. We'll get started in about 2 minutes.
Not in a long time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 6:30. We're going to go in and get started of the Mulberry City Council regular meeting for Thursday, July 16th, 2026. We're going to start with a brief invocation and pledge of allegiance, so if you're able, please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for this group of people who have gathered here today for this community. Please guide the council in their decision-making, and please bless everyone in our community that needs your help or prayers. We ask this in your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, please join me with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the roll. We're going to do it in order of the districts. We're going to start with District 1. We have Councilman Tim Sullivan present. District 2, Michael Coker, that is me, I'm present. District 3, we have Councilman Kyle Shields.
Present.
District 4, our Mayor Pro Tem, Michael Rudnick.
Present.
And then District 5, Councilman Doug Ingram.
Present.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you could notate all 5 councilmen are present this evening. That will bring us to item E, which is the mayor's opening comments. As I stated before, we have copies of the agenda for those that are just coming in. Feel free, you won't offend us if you want to come up and grab a copy of the agenda, follow along. That is the only comment I have for this evening. That'll bring us to F. Is any of the council have an opening comment?
No, sir. I'd like to bring something up.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to bring something up. Sure, that's go ahead. Perfect. Just want to let everybody know that I've started an Instagram page. So it's called Kyle Talks Mulberry. So go and check it out. What I'm doing is going around and talking to different business owners throughout Mulberry and asking them different questions. And so I'm trying to help promote the city's growth by getting this word out. So if you like it, share it. That would be great. I'd appreciate it. And I also do this thing called Walking and Talking with the Councilmen. So on Tuesdays, I go out there at 6:30 and walking laps around Mulberry trying to lose some LBs. So if you want to come and join me and ask questions, that's your time to go ahead and catch me on a couple laps around the lake and we can talk.
Thank you, Councilman Shields. Anyone else on the council? All right, hearing no more, we're going to keep moving right along. We're going to get to item G, the city manager's opening comments, if any. Mr. Palmer, do you have anything?
I do. I just want to take the moment to truly thank my staff and all of our consultants for all the hard work they put in. We have started to complete building out our suite upstairs. we are correcting the stormwater issue. We had 2 people on board to help with stormwater, starting on Monday, and they've already hit the ground running, so it's been good, getting everything up and running. I just can't thank y'all enough. I know I push y'all a lot, so.
All right, thank you, city manager, and thank you to the staff. We do appreciate your hard work. All right, that will bring us to item H, which is a consideration of tonight's meeting agenda. Is there any changes or additions that need to be made to the agenda this evening?
Mr. Mayor, I have one.
Okay.
I am not yet prepared for the trash services presentation. We just had a lot going on this week, and so I need to finish my PowerPoint, and so I'd like to remove that from this agenda.
Okay, we have a request for the city manager to remove item JA, the trash services presentation. Is there anything else that needs to be changed or added to tonight's agenda? All right, hearing none, I'll make a motion to amend the city council regular meeting agenda for Thursday, July 16th, 2026 by removing item JA, the trash services presentation. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, the amendment carries. Then I'll make a motion to adopt the regular meeting agenda for Thursday, July 16th, 2026 for the city of Mulberry as amended. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, the city council regular meeting agenda for Thursday, July 16th, 2026 is hereby adopted. All right, that brings us to item I, consideration of the meeting minutes. A, consideration of the July 2nd, 2026 meeting minutes. Does the council have time to review those, and are there any changes or amendments that need to be made?
One quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely.
On K of the note of the meeting minutes, section K, is it Elliott land? That's a question maybe, just as a notation for the, Mrs. Clark. I believe it's Elliott land.
I guess, our normal, Miss Naomi's
She's
out.
not here.
tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, we
Um,
can leave it as directed.
okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Once this is-
So for the public's benefit, the concern is we had the Gwinnett County Soil and Water Conservation District person come speak last time. We don't know if his first name is Ellis or Elliott, so. Is there any other changes?
It's Ellis.
It is Ellis?
It is Ellis,
We've
okay.
confirmed?
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So then, is there any other changes or amendments that need to be made? All right, I'll entertain a motion on this.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to adopt the meeting minutes from July 2nd, 2026, as shown.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Ingram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor?
We were here.
Okay, so just for future reference, announce your abstention, just so we know that you're gonna abstain. So, for the record, if you could notate, that Councilman Shields and the Mayor Pro Tem are abstaining because they were not at that meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna do that again. So we have a motion, from Councilman Ingram. Will you just make that one more time, Councilman Ingram?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adopt the meeting minutes from July 2nd, 2026, as shown.
Okay, and then we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 3, with 2 abstentions, the Mulberry City Council regular meeting minutes for Thursday, July 2nd are hereby adopted. All right, we removed item J, the reports and presentation, so that brings us to item K, our public comment. So ladies and gentlemen, this is our public comment section. I know we have a few people that might be here from the community to talk about some of the public hearings we have. There will be another public comment section for that, but that will be for the case that's here. But this is our public comment section. We limit it to 2 minutes per individual. We ask that you state your name, your address, and if you live in Mulberry, where you live in Mulberry, and then the council will typically does not respond to public comments, but we will listen. So is there anyone here this evening that is either signed up or would like to give a public comment? Okay, come on forward. And if you could just state your name, your address for the record, and who you're with.
Sure. My name is James Washburn. My address is 500 Peachtree Battle Avenue in Atlanta. As is evidence for the tie, I'm a lawyer, along with your lawyer, Mr. Riley. And I am counsel for Red Oak Sanitation and Recycling, which is one of the bidders for the trash services contract that is before the city of Mulberry. Two of the principals in Red Oak, Anthony Grudario and John Spagnolo, are here with me. They are very interested in serving the city and have submitted a bid. It was a finalist for the contract. We anticipated there would be a presentation with respect to the trash services contract, and so we were here to sort of provide our perspective with respect to that. Understand the presentation will not take place, so I'm going to be even more brief. But simply to say that based on the information that we have received so far, I submitted on behalf of Red Oak a formal complaint that I submitted to the mayor with a copy to Mr. Riley yesterday. I understand both of you have that now. There's a process under the ordinances for that to be evaluated. Red Oak is certainly, again, very interested in working with the city of Mulberry. Looking forward to working with you with respect to resolving any of the issues in the formal complaint to the extent that we can, and certainly look forward to the opportunity to answer any questions at the appropriate time. I have copies of the complaint. If anybody who doesn't have one wants one, happy to provide that to you. Obviously, you can also get it from either the mayor or the city attorney. So, thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else who'd like to give a public comment at this time? All right, hearing none, I will go ahead and close the public comment under K. That'll bring us to the consent agenda, which is a second read of ordinance 2026-07177, an ordinance to amend the official zoning map in Mulberry. Is there any discussion about ordinance 2026-07177? All right, hearing none, I will make a motion to adopt ordinance 2026-07177. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any other discussion about ordinance 2026-07177? All right, hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, ordinance 2026-07177 on the consent agenda is hereby adopted. All right, that will bring us to item M, public hearings. First read of ordinance 2026-07178. Who's going to present this one? Rebecca? Okay, Ms. Kiefer, thank you.
Good evening. Tonight, the request before you is a special use permit for 5215 Brazelton Highway. The property is currently zoned C2, and the applicant has requested the special use permit to accommodate a convenience store with fuel pumps on the property. This item was previously postponed from agendas in May 7th and June 18th. And on the agenda tonight is both a first read and a public hearing. There will also be a public hearing at the second read. That's going to be the state mandated public hearing, so we're just having them at both this time. Up on the screen, on the next slide, we've got the site plan, which shows the fuel pumps. They're kind of toward the point of the property, and then the canopy there, and then parking, and then toward the east of the property, up to 5 commercial spaces ranging from 1,300 to 4,000 square feet, and it's a total of 26 parking spaces. It fronts on both D. Kennedy and Brazelton Highway, and currently there's proposed curb cuts in each of these frontages. Next slide. They have submitted architectural renderings that demonstrate that, at least at the conceptual level, that they would meet our architectural requirements. Brick up the full facade, as well as storefront windows and glass there at each of those tenant spaces. The comp plan designates this property as as traditional neighborhood character area, and it calls for single-family residential infill, as well as neighborhood scale civic or amenity uses. We reference the comprehensive plan, of course, for a legislative request, so any kind of by right requests in the C2 district, we wouldn't reference this for those. This was reviewed first by Planning Commission on April 21st. Staff recommends denial based on the scale, the intensity, and the character area and policy vision inconsistencies there. And Planning Commission likewise recommended denial of the proposal. On the next slide, we do have some conditions that we would put forth to you should you make the findings for it, and I'll read those quickly into the record. There are 2 pages. Number 1, the special use of the property shall be limited to convenience store with fuel pump and accessory uses. The following accessory uses shall be prohibited: drive-through facilities, emission inspection establishments, smoke, novelty or CBD shop, vehicle maintenance and repairs, vehicle parts and accessory sales, vehicle washing establishments. The proposed development shall be constructed in general conformance with the submitted site plan dated July 7th, 2026, with revisions required by conditions in the Unified Development Ordinance, subject to the review and approval of the Planning and Development Department. Vehicular access to and from Brazelton Highway shall be prohibited. No curb cuts shall be permitted along the property's frontage on Brazelton Highway. This prohibition shall not apply to emergency vehicle access as specifically required and approved by the fire marshal, provided such access is gated and restricted. The applicant and property owner shall prepare a traffic impact study, also known as a traffic impact analysis, prepared by a professional engineer. The study shall be submitted to and approved by the Planning and Development Department prior to approval of the land disturbance permit application. The applicant shall be responsible for the cost and installation of all transportation improvements recommended by the traffic impact study. All such improvements shall be completed and accepted by the development prior to issuance of the first certificate of occupancy for the project, unless a performance bond is accepted by the director. And these conditions just mitigate some of the impacts based on the intensity of the development and the scale of the lot. Thank you.
All right. Is there any questions from the council for Ms. Keeper?
So, the conditions you imposed, should we go for it, doesn't restrict the size of the building whatsoever, right?
No,
Okay, so the scale's the same.
that's right. Some of the seat permitted uses on C2 are in that prohibited list because again, those would just increase the traffic, increase the intensity and need for additional structures on the site. So that's some of the reason for restricting those.
And just for clarification purposes, so staff's recommendation is denial,
That's correct.
but you would recommend if the council chose to proceed, you include these conditions, correct?
Yes, we want to prepare you for, the possibility that you do make the findings, and so we've just provided these to mitigate some of the impacts that we see on the property.
Okay. Any other questions from the council for staff?
I have a quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
This is at the corner of B. Kennedy and Brazelton Highway.
Correct.
Are there, I think, I don't know where I heard it, that there's a proposed roundabout at that intersection? Do you know anything about that?
I can address that. So, there has been conversations over the years via SPLOST conversations, as well as just transportation improvement conversations about having a roundabout there. There is not anything currently planned for Gwinnett County to put a roundabout there.
Okay.
The only roundabouts that Gwinnett County is moving forward with currently are at, Thompson Mill and Ridge Road, and 2 at Spout Springs, at Flowery Branch, and at Duncan Creek Road. So those are the 3 roundabouts that they plan inside of our jurisdiction, as well as placing a red light at the end of Hamilton Mill Parkway, at the 3-way intersection. I'm trying to remember, is that Jim Moore?
Hog Mountain.
Hog Mountain, yeah. So those are the traffic improvements that are going on here. We have not had any discussions about moving forward with a roundabout, even though we all recognize that that intersection needs to be improved from a transportation standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a public hearing on this. Is the applicant here this evening? Okay, perfect. Give us just one quick second. Let me explain to everybody what's going to happen. So, first off, basically, we're going to split this up into those that want to speak in favor of this ordinance or this particular application for 10 minutes. then we're gonna provide 10 minutes for those that wanna speak in opposition. So if you're here to speak for or against, best thing is to do, pick maybe 2 or 3 of your best speakers to come up and do it, because we will cut you off right at the 10-minute mark. But we will limit it to 10 minutes each side, and so first we're gonna open up for those that wanna speak in favor of this development, including the applicant, so please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Councilman. My name is Kip Horn. I'm the civil engineering consultant for the client. Unfortunately, my client is out of town this week, so he can't be here, but he'll be at the next hearing. He does instruct me with some, and he had some prior discussion with Mr. Jamie about several of the items. One of them, I would like to point out a few items. Mrs. Jamie has emailed my client the record from Gwinnett County. Originally, this project was a complete submittal was done for this project in September of 2022. That's right after COVID, and there were a lot of no meetings and all of that, and so the project drags out. And in August 15 of 24, Gwinnett County has authorized the development plan and issued a permit for the project. The client did not have a chance to start the project in January of 25. Y'all guys took over, so Gwinnett County no longer deal with us. They said to go and get the permit from the city. And I think he's been trying to get it. He wanted to move forward with the project, and I believe he has indicated to Mr. Palmer is that he's willing to contribute or help with any traffic alleviation, perhaps maybe a decel lane on D Kennedy or traffic light that might be an option. Also, we just want to reiterate that the permit has already been issued. We are ready to go, but he wasn't able to get it started, and then now we kind of going back towards to square one, going through supplemental use process, and my client believes that he's already got all the process, all the permit is ready to go, and yet he's not allowed to do any construction for his site, and that it's costing him a lot of money, and he's asked that the mayor and council please review it accordingly and allow him to move forward with his projects so that it doesn't cost him any more money. And I'll take any questions that you may have, and I'll reserve the time for any rebuttal.
Okay, perfect. So you'll have up to 7 minutes left for rebuttal. Is there any questions from the council for the applicant?
I have a quick question. When you say the permit was issued, did it expire, or I'm not sure I understand that part of it.
Well, the permit was issued on August 15th. They did not get started, and then they were trying to get started, either funding or whatever is keeping them from doing it. And then on December 17th of 2024, they submitted revision. I believe this had something to do with water meter, some sort of water service, and that was where things just they were never able to get anything revised and get going, because Gwinnett County no longer the property is no longer in Gwinnett County. It's within your jurisdiction, and he has been trying to get the permit through the correct way to your guys, but he hadn't been able to do it, and this is the correct procedure according to Mr. Palmer. So here we are. We're trying to ask that if the city, if mayor and council would honor the permits that process that had been gone through with Gwinnett County at that time, and allow him to move forward with this project.
Any other questions from the council? All right, thank you, sir. We'll reserve your remaining 7 minutes. All right, we are going to, at this point, close the public hearing for those that want to speak in favor. Well, I should ask first, is there anyone else here who wants to speak in favor of this application? All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing for those that want to speak in favor of this ordinance and case number, or ordinance 2026-07178, case number SUP 2026.02.0310. At this time, I will open up the floor for anyone who wants to speak in opposition of this ordinance and case number. Is anyone here who would like to speak in opposition of this? All right, hearing none, I will go ahead and close the public hearing for those that want to speak in opposition. So you have 7 minutes left for rebuttal. Would you like to come up and say anything else or no?
The only one item that I want to bring up is the condition that that staff have. The one item that is critical is this being a service station. It's critical that they have access from Brazelton Highway. Now, one of the items is to have no access on Brazelton Highway. I think that would be kind of detrimental to how a gas station is operate. So I asked that the other item seems to be okay, and the traffic study he's already done. If the city does not have a copy of it, I'll be happy to forward that to you. But that one particular item about no access on from Brazelton Highway would be very detrimental to the project. I believe the other items, drive-through and no drive-through, no car wash, those are he can manage.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to just add some clarification inside of the discussion portion. if you
Sure.
allow.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is kind of how we got here. This process, as before mentioned, started with Gwinnett County in about 2022. That went through review. We discussed this with Gwinnett, which is what he is referring to as the schedule of how we got everything. In 2024, they were issued a land disturbance permit. That then went into, they went for a review, which then had the opportunity for them to do some changes to the project. Then Mulberry took over on January 1 of 2025. When the city was started, there was a time frame that was allowable for transfer permits before where we would pick up everything where they were. Currently, that time frame had passed, and we also only allow a certain time frame for a permit before it expires. We spoke with Gwinnett County, and they said even under their code, that permit would have expired with no construction activity at the time. In 2022, when they started this project, Gwinnett County did not have the regulation that required for gas stations in C2 zoning to have to go get a CUP or a SUP. When we adopted our code, it was under that code of 2023 that required for this type of use in C2 to come for a special use permit. So that is why staff has directed them to come before you all, is because we feel that this permit has expired. And they feel that their permit is valid even though they did not transfer it over. We did ask if they had received a permit, and we asked Gwinnett County if they ever received a physical permit, and they had not. And from our industry standards, that is when you actually begin your project, and there's so many things that could happen in between them. So we just needed to bring it through before you all because we feel that based upon the requirements, this is the standard that needs to happen for this type of use in this location. And it doesn't meet our character area, is that correct for this area?
That's correct.
Which is also why staff recommended denial.
Thank you. Any other questions from the council?
Well, the answer to the one I had.
Okay, all right, thanks, sir. All right, this time we will go ahead and close the public hearing for those that want to speak in favor of ordinance 2026-07178, case number SUP 2026-02-0310. And as was stated, this will be come back up for a second read on what date, Ms. Kiefer?
August 6th, I believe. Yes, August
Okay, so August 6th, and there'll be another public hearing at that one as well? Okay. All right, then I will conclude the first read of that ordinance and case number. All right, that will bring us to item N, discussion items. A, discussion of e-bikes and e-scooter regulatory consideration. Who's gonna present on this?
We won't really do a formal presentation like we usually do, but we just wanted to go ahead and give you all an update. A couple meetings ago, you all asked us to start taking a look at the e-bike situation that's going on inside the city limits. And we wanted to give you a quick update as to where we are and what we would like to request to do next. We have reached out to Gwinnett PD. They have been working with us on this situation as to what their goals and what their plans are in addressing this. We have also reached out to their PIO. They are working on a plan, and we want to make sure that the public education portion of this, we run our own, but it will be similar to what Gwinnett County plans on doing as far as how we address this. We think that education is the primary focus that needs to be done to let everybody know why this is not safe at the way that it's being handled so far by the riders. In the memo, it just goes through the different classifications of what an e-bike is. We kind of talked about this a little bit extensively. I won't belabor you all with it in this meeting, but we will come back with y'all at the next meeting with some options as to how we plan on addressing this through the form of the ordinance.
Any questions or discussion about this item? Okay.
Glad you're looking into it.
Yeah, and the only thing that I will say is on this topic, and you know, I'm an attorney by day, and this is kind of what I do. You know, you see people and kids in horrible situations, and I will say that, God forbid, I do not want this to happen in our city. And if I see another 12-year-old or 14-year-old or whatever riding on Brazelton Highway or riding down Hamilton Mill Road, like, this is my plea, I guess, to the parents. If anyone is watching this at home, like, trust me, you do not want to be in the situation where you were sitting down with me as a lawyer because your kid was killed on the roadway riding an e-bike or a scooter. And so, you know, I feel very passionate about this issue. I feel very passionate about protecting kids. I've got kids, I've got 3 kids of my own. And guess what? I was a kid and I did stupid stuff when I was young, right? But sometimes we as parents have got to step in and say, you know what, like, we've got to protect these kids. We've got to protect our kids and make sure they're safe. And we're not trying to be difficult and come down on parents or kids that are riding scooters. We just want to make sure they're safe is the only problem. So I'll get off my soapbox, but that's my discussion for that item. So anything else before we move on?
Totally agree.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, that will conclude discussion item NA. We have nothing under first reads or second reads. That'll bring us to action item Q. A, Gwinnett County Soil and Water Conservation District proposal. Who's going to present this?
This one's me.
Okay.
So as Mr. Ellis spoke with you all at the last meeting, it kind of gave you a little bit of quick introduction as to what the Gwinnett County Soil and Water Conservation District is. I'm just here to give you a little bit of an overview because the Georgia Soil and Water Conservation District is just kind of a conservation is big for me. This is how we talk about how we handle stormwater, how we look at, you know, any type of erosion or soil issue. And as a level 2 gray card holder, it's a passion of mine. So this is just a little bit of what Gwinnett does. Everything's broken up into regions. Gwinnett is large enough to where we have our own soil and conservation district here, and this is the board that's represented. We'll just kind of scroll through this. I just wanted to show this. They do partnerships with all different types of river cleanups, all different types of programs. They have a high school program that they work with Gwinnett County Public Schools on. Keep scrolling. Trouts Unlimited. They are working on doing more outreach, and this is a little bit of the outreach stuff that they do. And I think they're also trying to work with Mill Creek currently to try to get in our area. If you can scroll down to the last slide, I'll make this quick. In your packet, you'll see the full annual report for them and what they are, keep scrolling down. What they're requesting from us is that now that we have formally formed as a city, they're requesting that we contribute $1,600 annually to kind of help their efforts in reaching out to students, teaching about, water safety, river cleanup, soil and erosion, the reason why we have the Clear Water Act, and do so many different things when it comes to protecting our rivers and streams. And so I think that this is something that can be really good for us to be a part of, not just for the county, but this is how we protect the environment and protect those, conserved conservation areas inside our city limits. My request is that we move forward with this proposal and contribute to them $1,600 annually.
Any questions to the city manager about the proposal?
No.
All right, hearing none, thank you, Mr. Palmer. Then I will go ahead and make a motion to adopt the $1,600 of our annual budget allocated towards the Gwinnett Soil and Water Conservation District. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, the proposal to send $1,600 of our annual budget to the Soil and Water Conservation District in Gwinnett County is hereby adopted. All right, that will bring us to action item B, employee handbook update. Cash is gonna do this. Deputy city manager. That's an inside joke for everyone.
All right, that's from John Best. All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. Bringing you guys another addition to our employee handbook. This one's going to add a confidentiality policy for full-time W-2 staff. This would also cover social media posting and pertinent information and privileged information that we have as staff, as well as a comp time policy that is applicable to our marshal's office and our code enforcement division only, both for non-exempt and exempt employees. This would allow them the flexibility to manage their time better, considering they're typically in the field and can run different time schedules and different work schedules. So this accommodates that. These are the 2 additions that we're putting in the book this time. I do anticipate this book being complete before the end of the year and approved both by GERMA and DCA. I'm working with legal and GERMA and GMA risk mitigation and city management, city attorneys and staff to get this entirely complete. I have another 6 that I should be bringing you guys soon once they're cleared through legal.
Any questions for the deputy city manager? Okay, then I will entertain a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
The motion would be to adopt the employee handbook updates as presented by Mrs. Cash.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Ingram. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Shields. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, the employee handbook as presented is hereby adopted.
I feel like I need to take a moment to just brag on Kelly a little bit. Kelly is, one, it's already tough enough working for me, right? But Kelly's getting her master's degree, has, got a congressional award for working in foster care before she came here. And she has been putting all of this together for our policies, working with GERMA, and that's just tough in general. And so I want to thank her for all of her hard work.
Very, very robust handbook thus far, and I know you're not done with it too.
There's another 100 pages ready to go through it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and move on. I appreciate that. That will bring us to action item C, resolution 2026-0766. Do you want to present this? Who's going to present this one?
This is the
Who's the media? Do you want me to just list out the?
I'm gonna let you run through it first,
Okay.
and then between you, I, and Bill, and Michelle, we'll finish.
All right. So I think in past meetings, we have brought to you the proposed downtown development authority boundaries. And so what you've got up here on the screen, this is refined from, I think, a previous time that you saw it where we pulled it in right there on the 85 corridor a little bit, so next slide. What we've also done to be explicit about the boundaries of the DDA is identify all of the streets that are within the boundaries and the intersections where they cross. So this is just a graphic that ties to the next slide. And this is a listing of all of those streets and their nearest intersections to give you the east and west or north and south boundaries of each of those roads. So we've got 15 different roads that are incorporated into the boundaries of the development, downtown development authority, and then the cross sections that, or the cross roads that bound them on any portion of the DDA boundaries, so that it's both written and in map form for the boundaries.
Any questions for staff about the DDA?
Yeah, can I get a copy of that?
Yes, sir. So, part of this is, and Bill will show y'all that fill in where I mess up on this, right? So part of what we're asking for and what our request is today is that the first step is we need to show you all this information and present you this resolution, and then ask for your authorization to have the mayor sign it once we fill in a couple of blanks. The first thing, again, is making sure that you all are okay with this map and the boundaries and the roads that we've identified. The second thing is that we need to add 7 names to this resolution as to who would be appointed by you all to serve on the DDA. In the resolution, you'll see that there's a staggering of terms. Some will serve 6 years, some will serve, I think, as low as 1 year. And then those appointments will need to be blessed by you all. But we are asking that once you all collect those names and approve those names, that we go ahead and just have the mayor sign it, so we don't have to bring the resolution itself back. But the names themselves will come back to you all.
Any questions for Mr. Palmer?
Yeah, suppose, I don't know, something in my district, I don't like where the lines are at. We can redraw those, we can have a discussion about it, I mean, cause I can't tell from here where those boundaries are at all. I understand where 85's at, but that's about it, Hamilton Mill.
The safest answer probably for me to say is that you are the elected body here. You all can kind of modify whatever map you need to. This is just kind of the area that we have identified mainly because of major intersections, and this avoids a lot of residential and primarily focuses on dense commercial area that we have along 124.
Well, I understand, it just looks a lot bigger than I would have imagined.
Yes, sir. It really, I mean, the safe way that I always think about it is it runs basically Dock Hughes around up to Sardis Church and then back down to 124 and then back over to Spout Springs. It just makes that little loop right there.
Excuse me, council member, the map will be an exhibit of the resolution. So if you will have an opportunity to review that map, and at a point in time when you adopt the resolution, if you determine that you want to change the boundaries of that in the interim between now and when we would come back, unless you all adopt this map on tonight, we could change it, and that would be our intent, that we would have everything in place as you desire it for the final adoption.
Okay, so tonight we're not adopting it.
We need to, you're gonna have to appoint people, and unless you are ready to put the people on the paper tonight, we have to have an appointment process on it. And so I would say that you're probably gonna need, I don't think, unless you're ready to tell us and we can fill in the blanks and we'll bring it back for signature, we're gonna need you to make a determination that literally that is your boundary, and literally those are the people you want in those positions that you want them in.
Mr. City Attorney, let me jump in. So my proposal would be on the individuals is that maybe we have maybe until next Friday or something, let's say, if you 4 gentlemen want to submit any names to me that you think would be good, I'll compile a list of what I would recommend as the top 7. Obviously, we can have other, debate or whatever. I'll return that to you at the August 6th meeting, and then we can have a final vote on those individuals. But I think the best thing to do would be, if you gentlemen feel comfortable with that, we approve the resolution tonight, subject to any changes to the map, if you have map, this is most predominantly the big section of your district, so, you know, if you have concerns about it, subject to maybe amending the map, we can come back on that maybe on August the 6th, is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we can come, if you gentlemen will maybe submit a name to me, maybe, let's say by close of business on Friday of next week, 1, 2, it could be 10 people, I don't care, but we can only do 7, and there's very strict requirements. Do you have those requirements?
I do, and I can provide, I will mention them to you now, but I will also provide them up to everybody. Each member has to be either a resident of the city, a resident of the county who owns or operates their business in the downtown development area, and 1 member of the city's governing body. And then you could have 1 resident who is only a resident of Georgia, does not have to be within the county, but has to have a business in the downtown development area. At least 4 of the directors in these categories have to represent a party who has an economic interest in the redevelopment and revitalization of the downtown development area. And then you're going to have 3 that will take a 6-year term, 2 that will take a 4-year term, and 2 that will take a 2-year term, is the way it would work.
So in essence, we would basically need 4 people to have an economic interest or own a business within this map, right? So that's number 1, so you can't just choose anyone, but we need 4 of those, and then the other options for the other 3 are a resident of the city, a elected official, and there was one more, I forget.
Well,
The other
It's
4.
an either or, yeah, or a resident of Gwinnett County that owns a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which
one
they
of
would
those
also,
three, yeah.
the resident of the county, or the resident of the state of Georgia that would own a business would also qualify one of the 4 you would need, correct?
Yes,
with the
that's
economic
correct.
interest. Okay. Is that, y'all understand, do you have any questions about that, gentlemen?
and I will send you a copy of the memo that our DDA attorney who drafted this resolution gave us, and so you'll have it. So it's a little bit of picking off one off of A, one off of B, and one off of C, to put it all together.
Yeah, if we can also get a copy of this map so we can just, I know pretty much where the businesses are,
Yes, sir.
but just make sure we're not getting something that's outside of that.
Yes, sir. Again, staff's goals here is to just present you what we have so far,
Yeah.
and then just dwindle down the process a little bit. So,
It's
once
just
you all
hard, it's just
confirm as
hard
elected,
to see up there like Tim said.
yeah.
I think also maybe just to highlight, if you could, Mr. City Manager, the reason that we are doing this is because it gives us some options that are very good for the city. It gives us some economic options, some federal funds, potentially state funds, things of that nature, that we can utilize to kind of, accelerate commercial activity in these districts, right? Or to do some things that are meaningful for the city.
Yes, sir. Make it full loop. This conversation about having a downtown development authority and creating a downtown really was sparked by the polling that we did, where a high number of 76% of the people that we polled at 500 people across the city, which is statistically what we need to do, said that they want a downtown center area. They want somewhere where people feel like we were in a community, shop, eat, that kind of thing.
Right.
So this gives us options as far as how do we do that? How do we create that economic engine from a financial standpoint that is not a burden on the city to a certain degree.
That's
So-
right. Well, I think it also, for the business owners that are listening in, it also gives them some opportunity to make an investment in the city and to have some benefit for themselves with employees or investments, capital investments they make in the city. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
Part of the rationale.
Yes, sir, and I will say that one of the beautiful things about Mulberry is that we are community driven.
Yep.
And so this gives another opportunity for people who are in our area and invest in our area or live in our area to be involved in the city that is more in line with their, profession.
Yeah.
Good question. Any other questions for the city manager? Or you gentlemen, any other discussion about the names? Are you guys comfortable with that plan? Have you guys maybe submitting the names to me by close of business on Friday of next week? And then I'll come with my recommendations. Obviously, it'll be subject to your vote, so if you guys change your mind, but I'll give you my 7 recommendations and then we'll discuss it and call a vote. You guys okay with that? Okay. All right, then I will, I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2026-0766, subject to The supplementation of the individuals that will serve as the members of the DDA and subject to the supplementation of the final map for the boundary for the downtown development district. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Ingram. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right. By a vote of 5, Resolution 2026-0766 is hereby adopted.
Thank you.
All right, that will conclude our action items under Q. That will bring us to item R, which is an executive session. Are there matters to discuss for executive session this evening?
Mayor, I have reports on 3 different litigation and potential litigation matters.
Okay, so we have a request for executive session for 3 litigation matters. Anything else? Okay. Hearing none, I will make a motion to go into executive session and discuss 3 litigation matters. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, we will now go into executive session. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stick around, you can. Which the statute allows us to go back into executive session, discuss a few matters in private. We will All right, before I make a motion to conclude executive session, is there any other items that need to be discussed in executive session?
I do have one item, Mr. Mayor, that I'd like to, potential litigation.
Potential litigation?
Yeah.
Or is it dealing with employment?
I guess, dealing with employment, which could lead to potential litigation.
Okay, all right. We have one request, to discuss an employment matter, and then in executive session. All right, then we have, you wanna make a motion on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, I'd ask that we go into executive session.
Let's do this really easy.
Yeah,
Let's go out of executive session. Then make a motion in the public here, in the public. Then if you wanna go back in executive session, make that motion again.
Okay, fair enough. All right, then, thank you, Mr. City Attorney. All right, so I make a motion to conclude the executive session to discuss 3 litigation matters. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, that will conclude the executive session pertaining to 3 litigation matters. Is there any other motion pertaining to executive session?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, to go back into executive session to discuss an employment matter.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Ingram to discuss an employment matter. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Shields. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, we will go into executive session to discuss an employment matter. Okay? All right. All right, at this time, I'll make a motion to conclude the executive session for discussing one matter of employment. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote of 5, we are concluding executive session. That brings us to item S, our adjournment. So at this time, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Sullivan. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call a vote. All in favor? All opposed? All right, by a vote